today, as you can probably tell, we're doing a deck profile of the Fire King's deck. It's a really good deck still. As you guys know probably if you're watching this video, you probably have seen my other ones as well. I did used to run Fire Kings. I took a break from it, ran some Adultes and stuff. As you know, I'm taking a break from Adultes, so I started using Fire Kings again. Since I already had basically all the cards for it, and all that stuff. So, I'm in the middle of building other decks. Mainly kind of want to build Teller Knights, but I need at least one more of the Trap and one more of the Searcher. So, we'll see what happens with that. Because I partially do not want to buy them, but I might have to. But anyways, Fire Kings, it's a rogue deck. They're still really good. They're really strong still because of Grunix. Grunix is freaking boss of most decks. It will destroy most decks. Yeah, that's basically the whole gist of it. I actually didn't do a deck profile yet, but I took 4th today, and I was actually very surprised. I did really good. I beat Shadal's, which really surprised me. I was not expecting to beat them since all their traps would happen, all their effects went off in the graveyard, but I managed to break through. There are changes I'm going to make, mainly to the side deck. The main deck right now is running really well. I did make some changes before the tournament, but I will tell you what happened and all that stuff. So yeah, it's a 40 card deck, 15 side, and I think it's a 15 extra. I'm not quite sure. I don't remember. But anyway, I guess if you're new to the deck, I will also, I guess, show you the deck, and if you don't know how Fire Kings works, I'm basically going to explain it. So yeah, first I run the 2 Grunix. Grunix is amazing. He's the boss monster deck. Grunix is freaking powerfully, to tell you the truth. Yeah, basically, if you saw my old videos, I was running this deck. I ran 2. I do still run 2, as you can tell. Did it again, tried at 3, but then when I changed something in the deck besides the 3rd one, before I changed him, he became more cloggy, and I was liking the new way of building it, so I ended up taking one out for something else. The deck runs really, really good. I went 3-1 today, so it was really good. I was not expecting it. The only thing I lost against was spellbooks, and I almost beat them. So I was pretty happy with today. But sadly, there's a lot of players that ended up going undefeated. But whatever. Anyways, there was only 4 matches because we didn't have a top 8 or top 4. The judge ended up having to leave because he felt sick and all that stuff. So we didn't actually get to go to the finals. But whatever. But yeah, I might have got better than 4th, but I probably might get 3rd or something, or even 2nd. But anyways, yeah, Grunix at 2, everyone runs him at 3. Both run him at 3. I run at 2. Can't say everyone because I don't run at 3, obviously. And then the 3 Yakshas. Yaksha's still amazing at 3. Yaksha is your base monster. He's the thing that starts most of the chains. He's the thing that wins you really good. I guess I should tell you, I guess, if you guys trying to get deck. Grunix, basically when you destroy the battle, you get a special summon another Fire King, but you can't summon himself though because it says Fire King avatar. He's a high avatar, so you can't summon him with it. Otherwise he'd be really OP, and then he probably really would be good at 3. But no matter what. But yeah. And then when he's destroyed by card effect, during the next standby phase, he special summons himself and destroys all other monsters. So he'll go off, yeah. And that's basically how you get him summoned most of the time, because most of the time you'll kill him in your hand or something with the Yaksha. Because when Yaksha is destroyed, you don't have to destroy one monster, one you control or in your hand. So you'll destroy him in your hand. Next standby phase, he'll blow up the field. So yeah, once they see you get Yaksha destroyed or Grunix destroyed, they kind of hesitate. Because of Grunix, actually they'll overthink moves a lot too. So yeah. And every other Fire King also has the effect as if a Fire King monster is destroyed, except during the battle phase, you can special summon him from the hand. It's a clean effect. I think it's a you can. I don't think it's a win. No, it says if, so it's mandatory. I guess there will be times that you can miss the time, but it's mandatory. So if you have to run throws, so yeah, I run 2 Barongs. Barong is I used to run them at 3, as you guys know, but with Tenki back up to 3, you don't really need it anymore. Barong's not really that great of a card. You'll mainly use him to get your circles and stuff, so you don't really fully need him. And then this card is the card I actually took out, added to get rid of the added consistency to the deck. It's the double leopard. When I was running 3 Grunics, I did this. 2 Grunics became 2. I don't know how, but he became really cloggy at 3. Turned to 2. The deck now runs draw. I actually replaced this. This card actually is replaced duality, because most of the time you'll use duality to get to Tenki. So yeah, you'll usually summon, send, Tenki. A lot of times you'll have other plays as well still to go off. Like you'll do that, and then you can go on onslaught, special summoning Grunics from the deck. It adds a lot of plays. It adds a really ridiculous amount of plays. So yeah. It was a lot better than I thought it would end up. And then I actually won 1 spirit, because with him in the field, or in the deck, you can run spirit, which means you can sync her up for 6s. And depending on the field, you can go into even 7s and stuff. So yeah. And because of that, I also run 1 Rooster. Rooster basically is send Tenkis to get to other Tenkis, or send Tenkis to get to Tensu or something, or Gyoko. And then special summon him, giving you another search to search for either bear or gorilla. I play gorilla instead of what's his name, Wolfbark, because Wolfbark I guess is okay, but I didn't care for Wolfbark. I tried him, didn't really care for him. That would actually, I think I'm like the only one that doesn't care that came back up to 3, but whatever. The deck is really weak against back row, so you'll use this to get rid of back row for the most part. So, and then I doubt if a bear for much you just can't get over, or just OTK. Sometimes maybe because of bear. And there's an awesome card in the deck that I actually found out to use that makes the deck really, really OTK worthy. But yeah, so that's the monsters. I believe there's 16 of them. I don't fully remember. And then I think there's 19 spells. Yeah, the deck is spell heavy, but the deck is really consistent. I mean, the only time I had a bad hand was against spellbooks, and it's because I drew all 3 Grunics, which made me screw up. So I ended up setting up the Grunics, and yeah. Well, I was running 2, and then I started in the Grunics. The only part of the deck is the same. The only thing I changed before the video was the side deck, and that's because I got some. That's basically the reason. But yeah, starting spells, I run triple onslaught. As you know, I use run 2 or just 1 onslaught. Now 3. This card's a lot more powerful because at 3 now. Because if you draw this first turn with leopard, you have an amazing hand. I mean, you could summon leopard, use leopard, get Tenki, play Tenki for like Barong or something. Activate circle, getting our Grunics. And I think if it was the first turn, yeah, end phase destroys Grunics. Your Fire King was destroyed. You can special summon Barong from the hand. Standby phase, he blows up Barong. Next time, and then your standby phase, you'll get Barong search. So it makes the deck so much better now with it at 3 now and leopard. Then the 3 circles, the monster reborn of the deck, the OTK of the deck. This card wins when games. This card is like freaking amazing. Cool thing about it though, you can use it in any deck that runs fires. Obviously if you run only a few fires into the deck, you don't want to run it, but the deck that you run, like Lobble or something, you can use it in Lobble if you want it to. So yeah. And then the new draw part of the deck, I took out the I think it's the horn of something. I don't remember, Phantom Horn or something. I don't remember what it's called. But yeah, it's Supply Squad. I run double Supply Squad. This card is so freaking amazing in this deck. Everyone runs it at 3. I run it at 2 because I was going for more consistent. You don't need the card to win. It just helps you draw out cards when your opponent once per turn you can just when a monster you control is monsters. You control is destroyed. You draw a card, and they stack, so you can have both of them on the field and draw 2 cards for every time the Garunix destroys a monster or something, one of your monsters or something. So it's great. Or circle, you can use circle to get it off and stuff. So it's amazing. And then obviously the triple tanky, amazing. Not really, it's not really that great, but everyone loves me tanky. I run it at 3 because you need the search power, you need the thinning, you need all that stuff. Plus the extra 100 isn't all that bad. And with bear, destroying stuff, the gorilla, destroying back row, searching more stuff, special summoning, and yeah, it just adds so much consistency. It's like these decks were like destined to work together. Because tanky will search out anything but Garunix, sadly. You got wrong for that. So it's not a big deal. And then the one Tensu. I was debating it up to 2, but I did some test runs with it at 2. It was not that great. So I kept it at 1. Because you can always search for it. You can use Rooster to search for it. You can use Leopard to search for it. It's a great card. And then the one Gyoko. Gyoko, because that again goes really strong against the deck, so it's good to stop your opponent's monster or card. You can use Leopard to get to it and stuff as well, depending on what your hand is. So yeah. And then the double MSD, again, that goes really hateful. And then the one Lance. Lance is actually a lot better than I thought. I tested it at 1. It worked a lot better than I thought it would. I tested it at 2. It worked still pretty good, but I decided to keep it at 1 because it was more consistent with 1. And then the one Dark Hole, the one Rekindling, because it was taking the 1 because of the lava build of this deck. It was just too powerful. And then the one Solar Recharge. I used this like once. And yeah, I won the game, but I don't know. It's a good card. It's just, if you don't win because of it, you're gonna probably lose because of the cost of it. Yeah. So that's all the spells. To the traps now. The traps are kind of basic, except like 1 card. But yeah, it's the double Phoenix Chain. Phoenix Chain because you need to stop your opponents. Things like Tellarknights, Dolls, Fusion Monsters, they kind of get annoying, so Phoenix Chain could help protect yourself against traps like that. Now this card, I don't see anyone running in any fire deck these days. I think it's ridiculous because this card is amazing. It's actually a fire art, spiritual fire art. This card is so amazing. You tribute a fire monster, and then you do that much. Then the attack of that monster is dealt as damage. So you can use Garunix, pop, attacking for 27, activating this, doing another 27. So I mean, yeah, you won't get Garunix special, but most of the time when you use it, you'll win because Garunix attacking twice will almost win. Activating this, then it's game. So depending on what your field is, it's probably already game. So yeah, because most of the time you're gonna have Garunix and Yaksha or something else on the field. So yeah. And then the one Generation Shift. This card is amazing. It's self-explanatory, really. The card is, I don't know. Most, I guess, don't really like the card. It's a good card. It's not like extremely good, but it is good. It's helped me against Madolche and things like that. Things that take your monsters or send your monsters back, or even when people compulse me, I'd wait to this. Destroying my monster instead of sending it to my hand or whatever, and then getting one from the deck, and then my monster's effect still goes off. So it's pretty good. I tried it at 2. It was alright at 2, but whatever. The one Compulse and the one Warning. Yeah, that's the whole deck, or the main deck, anyways. Like I said, the traps are basically standard except for the fire art. No one ever seems to use it. I guess I'll do the side deck first. The double Fire Dog, because it's Fire Dog. Fire Dog is amazing in this deck. When it destroys a monster, you can special summon a fire monster from the deck, except himself, with 200 less defense. Which is all the Fire King cards, monsters, except for Garunix. So yeah. And then the double Fire Ferret. This card is actually really good. Sadly, with this effect, it doesn't really do anything. But yeah, you could always set it and destroy it. Goes off. You can use circle to destroy it. To destroy a monster you can't get over. So it's always good. Then the one Sacred Phoenix. This card is good. It actually helped me win match 1 or match 2. I mean, or round 2. I mean, round 2 against spellbooks. Because without their field, they have a hard time. They don't have the generating ability as much. So yeah, it kind of makes it a little harder for them to do anything. But yeah, and anything that really runs really high level attack monsters and shit, this card would be good against. Even against, it actually helped me beat what's it called? Not Artifact, because summoning him blows up the backfield, their monster gets special summon or whatever, and then Grunix at the same time the next will hit the field. Well, it hits the field first, then you can get Phoenix on the field, and then Phoenix's effect will resolve first, and then Grunix, so Grunix will destroy him. So what will happen, basically, he'll destroy their monster, or their back row, or whatever, and then Grunix will blow them up. So it does not, it really, really harms them. And then the last monster is Thunder King Ryu, because yeah, it styles basically every day. These days, because everything still is. The one Prohibition, the second Lance, the second Yoko, the one Mind Drain, the double Dimensional Prison, mainly for hands and stuff like that. Trap Twist, Trap Hole, or Trap Hole Nightmare, whatever. I actually probably might tune this up to 2, because against Madoches, it really owns Tiramisu, which is the main thing. Tiramisu, Blue Cake, all that stuff. So yeah, so it's all that stuff. Bottomless, the one Bottomless. This card is good, but there are too many decks at the moment that are running that have too low of attack for it to hurt them. And then the second generation shift. I said it in because there was a time when I was getting like, I don't know, I was just drawing like crap, so I put this in there and it helped me out. That's the whole deck, the extra deck. The extra deck, I guess, is pretty basic, I guess, for this kind of a deck, for this deck. No, the deck was 14, so I was trying to think of the last one, the 6, 7 here. The Lion King, the Lion Emperor, one Lion Emperor, the one Alucard, and the one Zen Mains. I went into Alucard once. Yeah, I went against Lights once just because I knew their face down defense probably would have been what's his face, so they won't get their pop and they won't get their meal, so their monster never gets flipped. And Lion Emperor just helps go for game. And Zen Mains is Zen Mains. I'm actually check that out, but whatever. Those are the only 3s you need. The 4s, the deck is run by 4s, so you need a lot of 4s. One Kagasuchi. This card is freaking broke. Him combined with a Grunix is freaking amazing. If you have him and Grunix going off, Grunix will go off. He will protect off, so Grunix will blow up the field. He'll survive. Maybe with a type of. This is what usually gains you is him, and then having Grunix and Fire Art on the field. You're gonna win. It's an OTK because he'll summon. Grunix will hit the field, blowing up the field. His effect will activate. You can send it detached to protect himself. Swinging for 27, swinging for 25, maybe even more, depending on if you have tanky or anything on the field. And then you activate the trap, sending Grunix in the last 27 to game. So it's a freaking amazing combo. And then the double Lion King, Tiger King. Tiger King, because Tiger King. It's an amazing card. You use it to search most of the time. You can use it to negate your opponent's effects. So, it's always good to use. The one Diamond Direwolf, because it's Diamond Direwolf. The one Abyss Dweller. Actually, Diamond Direwolf is good, but I don't know why everyone wants to do that too. Needs to do that too. I don't really see the need of it too. Abyss Dweller. The one Latch of Corn. The one Cowboy. And I finally got these two cards, which is freaking finally satisfying. I was sad I couldn't get them. The 101. And the one Exciton Knight. Yeah, this card actually helps the deck a lot. It destroys all the cards in the field besides itself. So you'll even destroy the next and then will come back. And, yeah, but whatever. The one Meststroke. And then the only one Synchro, because I don't have another one at the moment I can think of that I want to use. In case. But yeah, it's Horse Prince. Horse Prince is amazing. Summoning, you'll always use him. Usually, most of the time you'll be able to play him. But yeah, that's basically the whole deck. You don't really need your extra deck. The time you really need it is when you run doing the Spirit for the most part. And when you're in a really good position to go into what's the Kurasuchi, whatever his name is. Yeah, Kakusuchi. Because that play is just amazing. Because Gruna kills off, special destroying and watches. You lost Fire King, so you try to summon. And then you can special summon, normal summon, whatever, and then, or tanky, or whatever, go into him, doing a shit ton of damage. So, it's a good play. It's freaking amazing. So, yeah. And because most of the time he'll go off a lot of times he'll go off in your turn. So, a lot of times you'll draw into a monster that can be special summoned. So yeah, that's the whole deck. I'm really loving it right now. It's a lot more consistent. I haven't had any bad hands except when I feel stupid inside of him. That's like the third for Runix. But yeah, other than that, the deck ran amazingly. But yeah, like, subscribe, tell me what you guys thought of the deck. If you guys try it out on DevPro or whatever, let me know what you think and what you think I can do to maybe improve it, and I'll give it some more testing. The deck is so far, this is probably still one of my favorite decks just because it's so underrated. It's probably one of the cheapest really good decks out there. Because some of the decks that are out there that are good, most of the decks that are really good are really expensive because everyone wants to run them. Like the metas, those decks are freaking ridiculously expensive. But yeah, this deck is really cheap. You can get most of these cards from, well, you can get all the Fire King cards. Like, you can get all the Runixes and Yakshic and Bronze and slots and stuff. All you have to do is get the Fire King 10, or not 10, structure deck. So, for each structure deck, you'll have a deck. The structure deck, I believe, is running at like $10. So, yeah. So it's like $30. You'll get basically the core. Because of the reprints, all these other cards dropped. I mean, Rooster used to be freaking expensive, but he went down. But yeah, I actually like this deck so much. I actually want to try and fully max rarity it out. But it'd be hard because, yeah, finishing are expensive. And so are those, because these are expensive ultimates. Thank you, they're expensive ultimates. They're freaking ridiculously expensive. But yeah, I guess that's everything. That's just everything, the whole deck. So yeah, see you all next time, everyone. I'm sorry I haven't been uploading. I have another video to upload, so as well. So I'll probably get both. Probably should be able to get both of those up today, if not tonight. If not, sometime tomorrow if I have to go to work. But yeah, till next time, everyone. See you all then.